Hi, kindergarten. Today we're going to read this book. It's called A Place Called Kindergarten. It's by Jessica Harper, and the pictures are by G. Brian Karras. Do you remember when you first went off to kindergarten and maybe you left some pets behind, or maybe even some farm animals behind, or maybe a little sister or little brother that stayed home? This book's kind of fun. It kind of thinks about what happened when this little boy went off to school and left his farm animals behind, and what did they think about it? Here's our title page, A Place Called Kindergarten. The animals in the barn were happy. The sun was rising over the oak tree, and it was time for Tommy, the boy, to come down from the big house. He came every day. He'd bring the horse an apple and rub his dappled nose. He'd feed the sheep a biscuit and scratch her woolly back. He'd give the hen some corn and watch her sort and peck at the kernels. He'd always have a fistful of dandelions for the cow, which she considered a delicacy. They're all waiting for him. Sometimes Tommy would sing to them a song about working on the railroad, and he'd throw his ball against the wall over and over, which they found soothing. He always talked to them like humans, which made them feel important. On this particular day, however, Tommy did not appear at the usual time. "Where can he be?" asked the horse. "I can't imagine," said the sheep. "He always comes," whined the hen. "Where on earth is he?" wondered the cow. If you'd been there, listening in, it would have probably sounded like this: "Neigh, cluck, moo, ba, neigh, cluck, moo, ba." Just then, the dog wandered by. The barn animals didn't like the dog much because he stole their food and barked an awful lot, but he knew what went on inside the big house. "Hey, where's Tommy today?" the cow asked the dog. "He usually comes when the sun rises over the oak tree. He's gone." "Gone!" exclaimed the sheep. "Yep, gone, in a big yellow bus." "Well, where did he go?" asked the horse, who was quite alarmed. "I heard him talking," the dog yawned. "He went to a place called Kindergarten." "Kindergarten? Where's that?" the barn animals almost all at once said. "Search me," the dog scratched an ear, then lopped off to see if the garbage can was tippy enough to be unpinned for a snack. The animals burst into worried conversation. "Where is Kindergarten? What does it look like? What will happen to Tommy there? Will he ever come back?" If you'd been there eavesdropping, it would have sounded like this: "Ba, moo, cluck, neigh." The sun had risen way past the oak tree and even past the barn, and still Tommy did not come. The animals were quiet, pretending to be calm. The horse, who was the tallest, peeked out the window every 2 or 3 minutes. The cow patrolled the door, the sheep listened for boy-sized footsteps, and the hen paced in circles. Finally, when the sun was dropping towards the distant cornfield, they heard him. "Hello, I'm home." "Yes!" bellowed the horse, and all the animals laughed and truly jumped for joy. The hen even flew a little. Into the barn walked Tommy with the brightest smile ever. His once yellow t-shirt looked like someone had thrown a rainbow at it. The animals stood at polite and smiling attention as Tommy explained. "Listen to this. A is for apple, that's for you." He handed the horse an apple and rubbed his nose like always. The horse smiled as much as you can when there's an apple in your mouth. "B is for biscuit, that's for you." He gave the sheep a biscuit and scratched her curly wool till her till her eyes shut from the pleasure of it. C is for corn, said Tommy. He sprinkled the kernels at the feet of the hen, if you can call them feet, who happily danced and cackled and pecked. And D is for dandelions. He presented the cow with an extra big handful. She was delighted. I learned all those letters today, and there's lots more to come. Tomorrow we'll start on E, then F, and G, and H. H is for horse, by the way. And I finger painted a picture of worms, and we planted seeds, and Mrs. Miller taught us about the world turning. Hey, I learned a new song today. Want to hear? Without waiting for a response from his animal audience, who were all happily chewing on things, Tommy began. When Mother Nature paints the sky, she puts a rainbow in it. Then she adds a small white cloud. It only takes a minute. Tommy sang his new songs as many times as he threw the ball against the wall. If you had been there, you'd have thought the animals were singing along because it sounded a lot like this. Cluck, ba, moo, neigh, cluck, ba, moo, neigh, cluck, ba, moo, neigh. When it was getting dark, Tommy was called to the big house for supper. He yelled an extra loud "Good night" to the animals, threw the ball in the air as high as it would go before he caught it, and charged out towards the house. For a long while, his song drifted down the hill into the barn. The animals settled in. The horse nibbled hay thoughtfully. The cow slurped some water and lay down to sleep. The hen plopped cozily into her nest. The sheep was not sleepy. What do you suppose comes after H? She asked. He'll tell us tomorrow, said the horse, after he goes to kindergarten. I think this is such a fun story to kind of think about, what do people do when we go off to school every day? Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this story.